Yes, this one's pretty quick. I just thought it was kind of funny in the context of you and I being such big Trekkies. And I don't know if you saw this because it wasn't widely reported. This is a who's this article from? Oh, this is actually from Space Force. This is actually from spaceforce.mil.
Wow.
And Space Force has named their first senior enlisted advisor. And I put this out on Twitter and I said, hey, do you see any resemblance to Miles O'Brien, maybe? You know what I mean? Of course, the response I got was, he looks a lot more like Picard to me. But we have the beloved chief of Deep Space Nine and Star Trek The Next Generation, Miles O'Brien. This gentleman here, this is Chief Master Sergeant Roger A. Toberman. I got that right. And it is appropriate for people that don't know, that's the highest enlisted rank in the Air Force. And it is customary to call them chief. So this is the first real Miles O'Brien. This is the senior enlisted advisor to Space Force.
Very interesting. You know, it was funny because we made the comment that, you know, judging with how, Starfleet's being portrayed, if I was to join anything right now, Space Force sounds like it might be more fun.
Well, from a fan perspective, I think it's kind of funny that, you know, there was all the comments and we talked about it, like the Space Force logo looking like Starfleet, but Space Force itself actually doesn't look like it's going to look like Starfleet. It looks like Stargate. If you understand the reference, because in Stargate, it's Air Force officers, you know what I mean, running around on spaceships.
Yeah.
And that's what's the real Space Force looks like it's going to be, even though obviously they're inspired by Starfleet with the logo, and there's going to be all sorts of, that stuff's not going to stop. There's always been that relationship with the military and with NASA, with Star Trek, because a lot of these people are fans. They are fans, a lot of these people in the military. But the funny thing is, to me, as from that fan perspective, is the real Starfleet might look more like Stargate than Star Trek in real life.
So even more reason for the MGM to figure out what they're doing with Stargate again.
Yeah, they get some good press right now. They get some really good press right now, I bet. And I bet the Air Force would be or Space Force would be all for it. You know what I mean? And be like, hey, yeah, let's get some Space Force stuff in there because we can get some good press on this, you know? So
that's an interesting partnership there in terms of like a sponsor. Would actually be Space Force. You know, Space Force as well as other branches of the military. That would be an interesting partner, you know, like because a lot of times they need, you know, advertising or sponsorship partner, you know, to work with. That would be a really interesting one to actually have the U.S. military, the Space Force, you know, kind of play a role. Anyhow, I don't know, it's my marketing brain going.
That's actually, I think that's actually would be really smart.
Good matchup.
That would be an awesome matchup if they got a new Stargate out and Space Force was heavily involved in sponsoring it, you know, and all that stuff. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah,
that would be really cool.
So tell us, Dr. Strange, do you know much about the Space Force?
I know I don't even know anything about it, to be honest. I haven't been paying much attention. I just know it exists, and I thought it was a joke.
Oh,
no, it exists.
Yeah. It's a thing.
Exist.
It's a thing.
Do they have lasers? Do they have spaceships?
They have a space shuttle. I know that. The Air Force has been operating a space. They're the only people operating a space shuttle right now, as far as I know. It's not manned. It's a unmanned shuttle, but I know they have that. They have at least 2 of them, if not more. It's very secretive, actually. So, but they do have that.
Oh, okay. Sounds more like Checkmate and such.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.